Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Whoa. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hello, Mike.
How are you there? Is your mic not on?
Mike's not on.
Okay. Huh. Did you unplug something?
No. No, I didn't.
Huh. What'd you do, E?
Start over.
No, jump on E's mic over there. Let's see if that's working. Your mic was working fine a little while ago.
It was working fine.
Okay, That doesn't make any sense. You know what? Why don't we pull this back and figure that out? Because that's going to be a problem. All right, sorry, everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll be back in a minute, and we'll take two.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast,
Big fan. Big fan.
a show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Yeah, alrighty. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Take 2. Powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Jay, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Mike. Just
Hi,
fine.
Mike.
You can hear me now.
Yes, there you are.
We had
There
some
you are.
technical difficulties
That
as we
happens.
started this episode. It's really transparent to the listener on any iTunes or that
course.
sort of communication device. But
That
if you're
medium.
watching on YouTube, you were probably flummoxed.
You were privy to some behind-the-scenes guffaws?
Yeah, guffaws.
Guffaws.
I'm not sure if E turned off the microphones during that whole thing.
Yeah,
you
I don't
may have
know.
heard the whole
Holy shit.
episode.
Boy, were we trashing the audience and
really
the
were.
sponsors. We were going to town on them.
Fuck them.
Fuck all of them. I mean, I think we called for the slow death of all
Slow
listeners,
death.
and that went doubly for sponsors. I believe that was the conversation we had. Not, of course, knowing that the mics were on, which is terrible. But yeah, I think we've got things fixed. Thank God we've all got such an engineering background. We were able to dive in as sound engineers and whatnot and really get in behind the scenes and tweak some stuff.
Able to plug in a different cord.
Or that.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, still, there was an issue with the board. We figured it out. We fixed it. That's what sound engineers do. So I'm declaring us professional sound engineers.
Hey, if you love me, Mike, and Isis as much
No.
as Steve Gabara and the hottest sales staff in Oakland County do, then take your ass over to Zott Ford and Holly and get yourself a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV this holiday season. As you know, there's no better way to support TDC than to support our sponsors, and our friends at Zott Ford were our very first. Surf their sexy deals and massive inventory at DealsInTheD.com.
Hey, we should, speaking of sound engineers, I believe Mike Massey is an actual sound engineer. I think that's part of his expertise, not just a lawyer, a professional musician, but I think he does sound stuff, which is why he's such an anal prick anytime he comes over here and he wants to tweak the
Yeah.
shit out of everything. God bless him. We did not announce this yesterday, but the announcement has been made that Mike Massey is, in fact, coming back to town.
It's coming back February 2nd, 2018,
Yes, that is going to be a Friday night.
7:30 p.m.
It's going to be at the Hamlin Pub again. There will be a difference, though. This will be the 25 in Van Dyke, but this time there will be professional sound handled. There will be a sound guy, and so it should be really cool.
Tickets.
And the other thing that makes it very cool is tickets are on sale. So you don't have to get there at noon to try to secure yourself a spot.
You can get there at noon if you want.
Yeah,
Hell
you
yeah,
can.
you can.
But
You'll be there.
I'll fucking be there all day.
my guess is tickets will go fast. Every time we've had the fire marshal out and trying to kick people out and cancel the show. We've had hundreds of people, maybe 100 or more turned away at the door. And so this, at least, you can go buy tickets in advance and then you're set. It's Friday night, Detroit Cast presenting it at the Hamlin Pub, 25 in Van Dyke. And he'll be in here the day before, performing here, and we'll catch up with him. If you want to get tickets, you can, probably the easiest way, you go on our Facebook page, there's a post there for it. But if you go to the Interact tab on our homepage, DetroitCast.com, Interact tab at the top, hit that, you'll see the events page. When you click on that, you'll find easily the Mike
Front and
Massey
center.
event, front and center, and you can go buy tickets for the event. I believe they're $20. And it's a great night. It's a lot of fun. I imagine the tickets will sell quick. We've already burned through 100 tickets, so that last I knew. So if you want to go to that, please, that's the way to do it. And I guess that's it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's the announcement for today.
Hope to see you there.
Jay, you got me at the end of last week. You had mentioned that you were watching a documentary
Yeah.
on, I believe, the Flicks. And I was like, fuck, I watched that at one point. I don't remember it, though. And so I forced myself to watch it again. It was
is it?
a
It
little
might be
doc.
loud? It might get
loud. Dude,
This is a good one.
yeah, it is. And it's
Been out for years.
10 years, I think. 2007, I want to say this came out. And it's The Edge from U2,
Jimmy Page
Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, and Jack Black from,
or Jack White, either one.
or Jack Black. Jack Black would have worked too, but Jack White, yeah, from the White Stripes and numerous other
Tenacious D.
projects. Yeah.
No, Jack White, dude, steals the freaking show.
Not
man.
even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. Yeah, it's basically like get 3 guitarists in a room from different genres, totally different styles, and let
Different
them
generations, even.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Jack and Jimmy.
Sure. And even all 3 generations, really, because Jack is long after U2 started. And so it's really kind of a behind-the-scenes look at these three legendary guitarists and how they do their thing. But you are not kidding, man. Jack White absolutely destroys on this thing. I mean, he's so good.
So good. Even Paige is taken by him. You can tell.
Yeah.
You know, just watching him, like, wait, what? You know, and he's trying to like mimic. They're all just jamming. You know, and you can just see him watching Jack, like, oh shit. You know.
Well, it's so funny because most players get like really, really anal, like, oh, I've got a 57.
Well, that's more
Les
how
Paul.
That's more how the Edge is.
Yeah, well,
you mentioned sound engineers. The Edge is way more like a sound engineer that tweaks every little thing, you know?
Yes. Well, he's got this, what do they call it? You know, the hall of whatever. It's got all his pedals, basically. And so through his pedals, he can get weird noises. That's why every U2 song sounds different. He never uses the same setup for a song. And he'd probably be a pain in the ass in the studio because he's never satisfied. But what I was going to say is, like, a lot of guitarists like Page or, Aerosmith, Joe Perry, any real good guitarist is going to be like, I swear by my 57, Fender Strat or and it's like there's certain woods and certain things, this thing's been beat up and played all over the world for 70 years. It's worth $100,000 and it's my guitar. And then you see Jack White and it's like, yep, this one was bought at Sears for $15.
Yeah.
It's plastic, as you can see.
Montgomery Ward had its version, but this is the Sears version.
Dude, and it's like, that's the famous guitar, the red guitar he plays throughout the White Stripes is plastic. And like something that an aunt bought, 30 years ago at Montgomery Ward or Sears. And that's the one he's getting these incredible sounds out of. And he prefers a guitar that won't go and stay in tune. And it kind of goes out, and he's like, you got to fucking, master it a different way.
Dude's an artist, man. He's one of the best to come out of Detroit, and I know there's been great musical artists who have come out of Detroit. I put him top 3.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It was so cool though, and I'm sure people have seen this, but I wanted to talk about it anyways. When he's like got the guitar on the ground. I don't know if that's his kid that's with him.
During the documentary.
Yeah, he's dressed up like Jack. And he's got that guitar there, and he sets it on the ground, and he's teaching the kid to, like, step on it, step on the strings, and it's making weird noise. And, like, all those weird feedback noises that he gets and does, it's, like, total experimentation with his stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on Netflix, but it's called It Might Get Loud, and it's just a really cool documentary.
Every now and then I go back to the White Stripes, and I had a weekend like this a couple weekends ago where I just played exclusively White Stripes, and it was driving my family nuts. But I think they are so good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, wow.
It's just original. My knock on them out of the gate was like, yeah, this is cool. The first song you heard by them was like, this is great. But with 2 players in the band, this is going to get really old really quick. And it really didn't. He was still able to make, he's just an amazing, amazing artist. And
of course, his sister turned out to be his wife, but whatever.
Whatever, it happens. It happens. Boy, did she strike gold with that band, huh? Holy shit.
Well, let's be honest. He just needed somebody to keep a quick beat for him,
Yeah.
and it just rolled into something bigger.
And
my sense is she didn't go into this like thinking she was going to be a rock star, but rather Jack was always noodling around and needed a beat.
I don't know how to take her because she looks very, very rudimentary. It looks very, very simple, and it is. You could learn every White Stripes song as long as you could keep a simple beat.
Very minimalist.
Yes, you could learn it all in a week and play it well. And but there are other drummers. AC/DC's drummer is just a pocket player. He's rock solid, but none of it's hard. And Rolling Stone stuff. Charlie plays just a very, very simple beat. He's a phenomenal jazz drummer. You'd never know it by listening to the Rolling Stones catalog. And so, is it possible?
Do you listen to Charlie's jazz stuff?
I don't, but I know
You're
he's
told? You've heard.
Yeah, I'm a big jazz guy. But no, I know that he can do all that shit. He knows all the rudiments. I don't think Meg would.
That is not my sense either.
Just my guess. And yeah, but it's... Yeah, I don't know, man. But every once in a while, I'll like, oh, they got the top 100 drummers in the world. And it's like, yeah, Travis Barker's up there, and this guy and that guy.
He's the guy in Blink 182.
You've heard of him, E?
Yeah, I have.
Trav. Tattooed guy, neck tattoos and all.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All the small things. Dude, I swear to God, the last one I saw had Meg White in the top 20.
That's bullshit.
And it's like,
that is
what,
bullshit.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, and I think the same Rolling Stone list had Jack White as like the 70th best guitar player, which
right.
I take issue with.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Totally. Anyway, check it out though. If you haven't seen it, it'll definitely keep your interest. Moving on to other things, we got some things to get to. Jay, ABC's president apparently went off on the fucking news division.
The Brian Ross issue.
Yes, that is a big deal, and I'm glad to hear this. I'm glad to hear that they suspended him. My thought is, you fucking cut a guy like that. You fire him. You just set the tone, man. Set the tone that this is so. It's like plagiarizing. No, gone, done. Plagiarizing, not acceptable in journalism. Neither is getting the facts wrong on a national broadcast when he, that was brutal how bad his mistake was, Brian Ross. And so this guy, the president of ABC News, James Goldston, said he has never felt disappointment and rage comparable to what he has felt in the fallout of the mistake, and that the network was conducting a full review. Audio was obtained by CNN, and it picked up him laying into his staff, saying, I don't even know how many times we've talked about this, how many times we have talked about the need to get it right, that how we have to be right, and we have to be right and not first, and how in this particular moment, with the stakes as high as these stakes are right now, we cannot afford to get it wrong. ABC News spent the weekend getting absolutely pilloried?
Yeah.
Pilloried. As a news division for reporting fake news. 250,000 tweets, 1% positive, 99% negative about the news division. 2 tweets from the president. If it isn't obvious to everyone in this news division, we have taken a huge hit, and we have made the job of every single person in this news division harder as a result. It's much, much harder. We have people in Washington who are going to bear the brunt of this today and in the days forward. Very, 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 very unfortunate. Really, really angry about it. This guy's fucking pissed. And then he says, it appears Ross went on the air with a story without anyone having ever made a decision that we were going to go on the air with that information. We just went on the air with that information. We hadn't approved doing that. And the thing that just kills me about this is all we had to do was wait. We had to wait a few minutes. A few minutes after that, the charging documents came out. We know that those charging documents had come out, and we had looked at those charging documents, and the charging documents, he's saying charging documents too much. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like 5 times in 2 sentences. They didn't match what we thought the story was. We would not have gone with that story. The thing that compounded our mistake is that not only did we make that mistake, if we had then corrected ourselves right away, again, we wouldn't be in this position. It would have been a very different story. But we ended up in the impossible situation where we had actually conflicting information than what we said on air. We had information that was online saying one thing, contradicting what we said there. It took us 8 hours to get our story straight. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, and we will pay the price for a long time.
He's really, really, really angry.
He's mad. That guy's mad.
His point's a good one, man. The fact that this whole report is based on charging documents that were
See what you did
that
there.
were released moments later. So
Yeah.
it gives you a glimpse into this need to be first, right? But when it's so verifiable, it's like coming down the pike. Everybody's going to have the same information in like 10 minutes, right?
I think it's even worse than that, dude. Usually you would be 100% right. It's a race to get it first. I think Joy Behar's reaction spoke for a lot of the mainstream media. That's how they would like to react when they're live and they get breaking news that's negative towards him. They want to have a pizza party about it. They're so thrilled. And I think he wanted to be the guy that ran out first with breaking news that was going to be
Right.
the one that was going to destroy this administration. And so
But this isn't a story that's at all based on like I don't know, a source that's passing on a rumor or passing on what supposedly another source knows. It's based on a charging document that's being issued in 3 minutes or something. So it is weird that you would so rush to get that out. This is what this charging document in 3 minutes from now is going to say. Ha! Look at us, we're first.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Wait a minute.
especially when you've been accused of being wrong before in your career on big stories. Like that, dude, that's all you have as a news journalist is your credibility as a correspondent. That's all you have. If you can, that's what made, the legendary broadcasters who they were, is that you believed Tom Brokaw when he came onto your TV. Tom Brokaw, machine 8 years. That guy, you believed him. You believed Ted Koppel. You believed Ted Koppel, and going all the way back to what's his name, that broke Cronkite, yes. And who's the one that broke the Kennedy news? Famous, our Murray or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying, though. Those guys were believed when they went into the, that's why they did what they did to Brian, and tossed him out on his ass. Whereas, if you can't be believed, you're gone. Your credibility's shot. And so it is a big deal. I'm glad that they're reacting that way. I just, I don't know that it's going to stop.
Yeah, does it make a difference? Like, how else are they going to react? You got to come, oh, my God, facts are absolutely, stuff that is credible. It's got to be right.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to say that, though. We'll see. We'll see what bears out in the next year.
I bet his ass is chapped, though. I bet he's livid about that because it's not just Brian Ross.
It's so correctable. It would be, honestly, think about it if it were a story that wasn't so verifiable 2 minutes later. Literally 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
If it was a story about, hey, we've got information. Let's say Flynn wasn't indicted yet, or Flynn, hadn't spoken to anybody, but somebody on Flynn's inside, an insider with Flynn was told this.
Yeah.
And Flynn passed this on, and wow, that's information that's not about to come down the pike in a charging document, but that's like, holy shit, that's a new story, and I'm going to scoop that story, and that's incredible. But this was coming out of a fucking lawyer's office.
Yeah.
Seconds from that.
You were going to get the printout immediately. I wonder if there must be some rush. There must be some rush to being able to have the breaking news sounder come spinning on the TV, and then no matter what programming it is, if you've got a big enough story, they'll break into it. And being that, and then all of a sudden trending on Twitter. And as heard on Brian Ross with a ABC News correspondent, Brian Ross broke this morning. Like, there must be some hard-on moment for these guys where it's like, oh, I'm 99% sure about this. I think I got all the information.
Right.
Go, 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 go. I don't want some asshole at NBC to beat me to this. I want all the glory. And it's like, it's the problem with when you have an idea in your head about what the story is, and then you're trying to rush to get to that point. And I immediately think of the, was it Virginia, where the rape school, and that chick was
the Rolling
Stone article. Yes, at University of Virginia. That was Virginia, right? And that story was total bullshit, and it took nothing. You have to vet this stuff. You have to interview the other side. You have to interview the kids that are accused of this, the frat. She didn't. She thought, wow, this is a story, rape on campus. And it was. Front page story. Except you were fucking wrong. And credibility is destroyed. And it's like, you had a thought in your head about where that was, and you were going to get to that point no matter what.
You know who you can trust, Mike?
No.
Mark Leibovitz.
Oh, all right.
How much money will you need in retirement? Are you sure you won't outlive your money? Having a plan today means you can adjust as your life changes. Retirement doesn't have to be a mystery. Contact Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial today to learn the answer to one of the most important questions for your retirement. Call today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, by the way, Jay, I meaning to ask you this for a couple of days. Why doesn't Trump just pardon Flynn?
Yeah, he could.
I mean, I don't understand why just put an end to all this shit. Be like, pardon Flynn.
He seems not to care about politics, and so a lot of what's going on is political.
Right.
It doesn't So he could, but politically, how would that look?
What does he care?
Would the country come extra unhinged then?
Well, I heard some scholars, some history scholars who were like, yeah, that's not even that big a deal. George Bush did it. They were going after one of his guys who was going to absolutely spill the beans on some shit they were doing. It was like, yeah, pardon.
Yeah, no.
So, no big deal. Going back to Lincoln and shit, I think pulled this stuff too. It was like, yeah, pardon. Sorry. Next. And so, but you're right. It would be like world news if Trump did it. It'd be the end of the world. So I guess that's why he doesn't. But did you see our boy John Conyers?
Jonathan Conyers.
Yep.
Not going to run for re-election for another 4-year term at the age of 88.
Yeah, spring chicken, man.
Seems reasonable. Setting aside the sexual harassment allegations.
Yeah.
Seems like you'd want to sit down for a little bit for the rest of your days.
He obviously doesn't. This was a painful decision. I saw the news break last night that they were like, yeah, he's going to make a big announcement tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that is, But yeah, I guess he's saying now that he's out. And I don't know if this is the reason why, but there's another chick that came forward.
Just today, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that had anything to do with the decision.
He stroked her leg in church, up the skirt.
In pew
in
one.
Church.
In pew one. You're in the first pew. I could see if you're in pew 2, you're at least blocked by the back bench of pew 1. How do you sit in pew 1?
The reverend's wandering eyes just looking over there. Oh my gosh, did
Dude.
Representative Conyers just slip his hand up that skirt?
It's just going right up the skirt. Oh, she's probably wearing her Sunday best. nylon. Oh, what a creep. So I don't know. Her name is Elisa Grubbs. She says he slid the hand up the skirt and rubbed her thighs while she was sitting next to him in the front row.
Woo!
That's pew
Bold.
one. Bold. So, Marion Brown, who...
That's like smoking weed in a police station. Honestly.
I know, right? Right?
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
You're
it's
sexually
terrible.
assaulting a chick in church. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I won't even swear in church, let alone sexually assault someone.
You know how farts go over in church.
Yeah, I would do that, though. I would. I mean, you could get some amazing echoes. Usually those cathedral ceilings and stuff. I mean, it could be dynamite.
I did
But
have that time when I laughed because me and my friend went into a laughing fit because this girl tripped and fell, and we couldn't hold it in. I got to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
no
there was
way.
like, because it's such a quiet setting,
Yes.
and this
and
chick
everybody's
was
trying to be
like-
prim and proper, and then
Right.
something out of the ordinary happens like that. And yeah.
She was on stage. I think she was in the choir, and me and my friend just couldn't hold it in. I got to be honest.
did you try? I wouldn't
don't
even
blame
try.
I love when people fall, so I don't
Yeah,
mind.
falls are the
We
greatest thing
tried,
ever, aren't they? What did she do? Did she fall off the stands where they were singing from?
I don't remember exactly, but I'll always remember. I mean, this is like, this is probably 10, 15 years ago, and I still remember absolutely me and Mickey sitting there just like, she fell.
Did
You went
anyone
to
else
church
laugh?
with Mickey, huh?
I've gone to, I've been to Kennedys. I've gone to the church with the Kennedys. We used to go to the same church, actually, for a while.
Yeah, you're right. It is so prim and proper. And I remember back in the days, like when we would go to church with my parents, and they got their Sunday suits on and all that shit. And all of a sudden, some kid would start acting the fool in church, and it was like you would get that mom that would just fly the fucking ear or the arm, just like
Lead him out.
and just not having it. You are not making a scene in church, and drag your ass out. You'd hear those big doors poof, fly open at the end of the hall there, and
Sure.
drag on that. I don't know if they do that today, but that's how it was when I was there. You knew at an early age, don't act the fool in church. Unacceptable. Anyway, going back to Conyers. Grubbs, the latest accuser, is the cousin of another accuser, and so they'll lean on that as it's just some ploy to take down this brilliant man who's
Yeah.
done so much. Marion Brown, and she's the one that broke the confidentiality agreement to speak out about
Right.
it.
And Lisa Bloom is representing them. I
Yes, you are right.
believe. Gloria Allred's daughter.
Yes. He is not resigning. He's going to retire. I want to make that clear.
Well,
Said,
it has to do with pensions, right?
Yeah.
And this is all. You got to make sure you check
Right.
the right box.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave any money on the table, any taxpayer money on the table, right, Conyers?
So is that what that's about?
For
Wait,
sure, dude.
yeah,
I'm
so-
sure it has to do with that.
When the pride, there would be some level of like, well,
Set
he's
all that
reti-
aside.
I know.
I guarantee you there's a monetary
Oh,
reason
I'm sure
why
it's
he's
money.
checking
Really?
that box. I guarantee it.
I'm sure it's money too, but also, don't you think like it
Yeah.
sounds better to retire than to resign?
Yes. Resign makes people go, well, what'd you do that for?
Oh,
I was 88.
No one
well, why didn't you
resigns
just retire?
because- right.
I think you're right, Jay, but I think he would also have that in his head like, no, if I retire 20 years from now when they look and they go, oh, yeah, Conyers retired at 88. It won't be.
Resigned.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds better than resigned because he's retiring.
course it
he says.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
So-
I'm sure the money too. By the way, I just thought it also sounds better to say retired than resigned.
Definitely does.
So that he's going to retire. His great nephew Ian, a Michigan State senator. It just runs in the family. I mean, they're just so
It's
talented.
amazing.
We
yeah.
just need the
Such
family.
talented legislatures. They
Yeah.
just, boy, they roll up their sleeves and
the
just
Conyers
work
is-
for the Michigan people.
Thank God the Conyers' family tree was
so many
here
years.
in Michigan. I mean, just do such great work, and it's
And
nice
then when
to
when
see.
he married in with Monica and brought that superstar
Yeah.
into the fold, my God,
it's a power
Detroit,
couple at that point.
Detroit never ran smoother.
God, Jay and I, off the air the other day, like popped up Monica Conyers videos.
I forgot how embarrassing those
Dude.
days were. A laughing stock of the world. Like
Yeah.
that was international news. Those
Yes.
stupid
Arguments at the what meetings were those? Like town
City
hall,
council?
City
meetings.
Council,
Thank
that's
you.
the word I'm trying to come up with. Yes, the Detroit City Council was absolutely unbelievable back in the it was nightly news.
Yeah.
Every day they'd have some stupid outburst.
And it was like you're sitting here, and the rest of the country is going, "What is the fucking deal, man? This city is a shithole. It's falling apart." And look at these two, Ken Cockrell and
Ken
Monica
Cockrell, though,
Conyers.
in his defense, is just trying to professionally get through most of these meetings. I understand they sniped at each other politically, and outside of that, they got very, very personal. But Monica is so personal
Yeah,
in
yeah.
her dealings on the record as Ken Cockrell's just trying to get through like a motion or some shit.
Well, he's got the floor, and this goes back centuries. Like the way these council meetings are set up, whether you're talking about the U.S., the federal guys, or you're talking local state stuff, they're set up, and you wonder why it's like, order, so and so has the floor, so and so, and it's like
just rules of decorum.
Exactly, and aren't they meant to be like where you address people as sir specifically? Like it's supposed to keep things professional and above board and be respectful at all times. And so they've got a way of doing things. And Ken Cockrell has the floor as the president. He has the floor. And usually these people really, really respect this, the chain of command, as it were. And so, yeah, when she comes chiming in, it sounds so childish. And it's the whole respect thing that I've never understood. Like, you ain't going to come in here and disrespect me like that. You're like, oh, shut up, idiot. Shut up. Really? Are you really playing the respect card?
And honestly, back in those days, I kind of felt bad for John Conyers. I kind of was like, dang, man, he must be so embarrassed by his wife's conduct. And then lo and behold.
Can we watch a minute of this? I think
of course.
Sorry.
Never gets old.
I think this is the one where, does she end up calling him Shrek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder somebody, but we all know that murder is against the law.
Yeah, no, this is based on
I did say
several.
based upon your
All due
experience,
respect,
right?
President Pro Tem, I have the floor.
I just wanted to say I said based upon his experience.
You just jumped on another council member about interrupting, and now you're doing it to
attacked
me.
me, and I didn't attack you.
I have the floor.
We know you do, but I said based upon his years of
I have the floor, President
The
Pro
floor
Tem.
is out
I don't want to
there.
hear you anymore.
And you don't have to hear me. We don't have to hear you.
Then be quiet
No,
because
you're
I'm
not
speaking
my
and I'm
daddy.
asking
You
a
do
question.
that at home, not here.
And not your
Okay?
father, but I am the
Exactly.
president,
So
and
treat
right
me
now I
with
have the
respect,
floor.
Because I'm tired of that. Be respectful. You may not do that at home, but you're going to do it up in
Stop
here.
interrupting.
You grow up. Control your house, and you know how to treat other women better.
You're the last one to talk.
I'm the first one to
Council
talk,
member.
dude. Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrek. The first one to talk. Don't disrespect me.
Order of the day.
I will call this to adjourn if you
Do
don't.
it, baby. Do it. Move to adjourn. Do it.
We're going to take a brief recess.
Do it.
That's disgusting.
That is so disgusting.
I think it calls for a
Embarrassing.
Martha Reeves solo of Onward Christian Soldiers. That's what I think that calls for. Remember that shit?
No, what was that one?
Dude, it's the woman from the Supremes or whatever she was in.
Yeah.
She stood up one day and started singing a hymnal.
Oh, really? In on the floor?
Yes.
Oh, see if you can find Martha Reeves singing that, and we can watch that. But, dude, that is so
embarrassing.
It's just embarrassing. It's so unprofessional, and you wouldn't see that at most big major city council meetings. You're gonna disrespect me?
Well,
you can't even keep your own house up. Wasn't that a shot at
Of course, yeah. There was some rumor at the time that he and his wife were having problems, or that he pushed his wife, or some shit. I don't remember.
in order at your house.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realize I was pulled up. This says it's where she breaks into song, but it's 13 minutes, so I don't know where.
Yeah, we don't watch that, but whatever.
We're going down the rabbit. Now we're going down the rabbit
Everybody
hole.
remembers that.
We're going down the rabbit hole of
Detroit City Council videos.
So anyway, Conyers' attorney, John Conyers, not Bonica, Arnold Reed told the Free Press that the new allegations from Grubbs are another instance of tomfoolery from the mouth of Harvey Weinstein's attorney.
Wool is being pulled, allegedly.
Yeah, it's claiming that. So I don't know. It is cool though. It is being reported that John is going to back out and retire with grace,
but
he is going to endorse someone.
Yeah,
which is
who's
great. Great. I don't know. I don't remember who that was. Do you remember who that was? Jay?
Yeah, I think it's his son, Mike. His son.
There's another Conyers coming up to represent the
How
state.
lucky is that, huh?
Wow.
The son of Monica and John.
Wow. See,
What
I thought
better?
we were out of Conyers.
I'm assuming it's Monica's son, and am I wrong on that?
I don't know.
I haven't checked the DNA, but
I mean,
boy,
dude, how great would that be if it was
lucky?
The golden child birthed by Bonica Conyers and John Conyers.
Check his midichlorian level. That's high.
God, dude, that's just going into the family business. How disgusting is that? You know, like your dad opens a shop and it's like, well, yep, now that's what I do for a living.
Yeah. What
like,
the fuck makes him qualified in any way?
Yeah, his old man, his fucking stupid parents. Oh, it's just a business. It's a racket to these people.
Hey, Hamlin Pub, 5 locations: Clarkson, Chesterfield, Rochester, 2 in Shelby Township. They offer a wide selection of craft beers, most of which are brewed right here in Michigan. Hamlin Pub has great happy hour specials Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m., and half-off appetizers on Monday. Check out all their specials at all 5 locations. Go to hamlinpubs.com for more info.
Danny Masterson, please report to the principal's office. Danny Masterson, report to the principal's office.
Of that 70s show, right?
Yeah.
We heard about this, though, huh?
Yeah.
Chickens are coming home to roost on this one?
Roosting chickens we are seeing. This was a weird one because when Kevin Spacey was accused, it was not 24 hours before he was on his ass by everybody, remember?
Yeah, sure.
Everyone associated with him was like,
he was like, but I'm gay.
Yeah, I'm gay. I don't care. It doesn't matter that you're gay.
We know you're gay.
Yeah,
we
congrats
knew
on
it
coming
for
out
years.
and shit, but whatever. I put that aside. And then, everything fell apart. And then there's Danny Masterson. And at the time when they blew Kevin Spacey out, it was like, remember, he picked up a 14-year-old boy and set him down on the bed and then got on top of him.
Yeah.
Fully clothed. And then the 14-year-old freaked out and ran out and whatever. And 30 years later, we're hearing about it. And it was like the end of the world. I thought he could get over it, but whatever, he didn't. So it's fine. Danny Masterson, the reports there are he violently raped 4 women.
Oof.
The talk has been he's been accused by 4 women of violent rape. And Netflix, who blew Spacey out of everything, House of Cards, was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, what's the show he has with Ashton Kutcher?
The Ranch.
The Ranch.
The Ranch, it's called. And so
too
now,
valuable. He's too valuable to the ranch. He's vital. He's a vital cog.
I should take that show off just because it sucks.
Well, there's just he
Not
kind of
because their star is a rapist.
Yes,
just
exactly.
sucks.
It is he is kind of a big deal though because there's very few cast members on the show.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? It focuses on this ranch and it's like Ashton Kutcher, Danny Masterson, their father, and then a chick is in and out, but that's about it. So
right.
I don't know. So anyway, this all came about though because one of the guys that works on the show, The Ranch, I think that's what he works on. Anyway, Andy Yeatman, he was approached by an alleged victim. Okay, he didn't know it was a victim was one of the women that accused him of rape.
Is he about to get punked?
Sort of. He's coaching his kid's soccer team, right? So you're there. You can visualize this. Her husband is the coach of the opposing team.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she comes up to him and is like, hey, obviously, I know who you are. You work on the ranch. And, that's crazy about Danny Masterson. What do you think they're going to do with him? I mean, he's been accused of rape and all that. And he's like, yeah, no one believes those women. None of us believe those women.
And he's standing there talking to one of them.
But he doesn't know.
Oof.
And so she's like, ah! She starts crying. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Hashtag me too.
And so then after the game, he said, it was nice meeting you earlier. Just wanted to smooth things over if I can. Here's a cake. And, sorry about that.
Would you like an orange slice?
Yeah.
A Capri Sun.
He tried his best, but there's no bringing that back. That toothpaste is out of the tube. You just told her to her face that none of us believe those women. And so now they've had to address that. They claim that's not the reason, but it's the reason. And so they were like, Danny had his last day on the show yesterday, and he's been written off the show. And he's pissed. He's like, thought you'd get your day in court or whatever, but this is a bunch of shit. And I'm out on my ass because some skank said I raped her, and it's not true. He's standing by that.
Well, he'll always have his DJ career, righty?
Yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, he was a
for a minute
promising DJ, I would say. He's promising.
Righty?
Didn't
you
I
see
saw,
him somewhere?
he looked great.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see him somewhere. I just pulled him up in YouTube and saw that
he does that.
He has done it.
He presses that button.
Yeah.
The weird twist to this story, and the reason it didn't get as many headlines as other stories, is 3 of the 4 accusers were Scientologists, and so is he. And so Scientology doesn't want that negative news, and so they go really far out of their way. Reporting a fellow Scientologist to the police is a fucking, I don't give a shit
It's
what
a no-no.
you've done.
It's a no-no.
You're a suppressive, okay? You're a fucking suppressive. You don't want to be a suppressive. I mean, you get thrown out of your ass for that. Goodbye, religion. And that's how you want your religions to operate. You know what I mean? Like if you do something wrong, commit a sin, God forbid you're raped, and then go to the police, suppressive, get out of here. You're not welcome anymore.
A loving religion. Very nice.
And so, yeah, these women were shot down immediately because, we've got to cover Danny. He's a famous Scientologist. It's not good for business.
You know who is good for business?
Who's that? Nice
Kyle
segs.
Mayer.
Nice segs.
You know who you can trust?
You could have said, speaking of violent rapists, Kyle Mayer.
Kyle Mayer. Well, either one. I chose, who's good for business instead. I could have gone either way.
Boy,
Fork in the road. Kyle Mayer's back on board. Everybody remembers him from past years.
Yeah.
He's the accountant of the Detroit Cast accountant sponsor. Does a great job. Everybody loves this guy. Everybody who contacts him goes, holy shit, I can't believe how affordable he is and how helpful he is. What
He's
a great
awesome.
guy he is.
This is the biggest thing to me. Like, dude, everybody does their taxes, right? I mean, technically, you should be doing your taxes.
You
so
should
there's
be.
no excuse not
We
to go to Kyle
highly
Mayer.
recommend doing your taxes.
No excuse
Yeah.
not to go to Kyle Mayer, man.
I
He's
agree.
great. Everyone loves him. Everyone
Go ahead.
has loved him.
This very segment, is brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. If you dread doing your personal or business taxes as much as you dread, I don't know, having John Conyers stroke your leg in church, let Kyle Mayer handle all that shit for you. Kyle's a pro. You can trust him. Don't waste your time trying to figure out all those damn tax forms, numbers, and deductions. Leave it all to Kyle. Call him today, 248-521-0016. And if you're one of the first 100 TDC listeners, you get the special price of $69,
Nice,
huh? But
nice.
even if you're not in that lucky 100, tell them the Detroitcast sent you. You'll get 10% off your tax prep bill.
And that crack about violent rapists, that is absolute hearsay and conjecture. Like that.
We've only heard it from a couple people,
Yes,
but
I mean,
hearsay
that is-
nonetheless.
Yes, that like
And
textbook
violent, and to say it's
definition.
violent, I don't know.
I
Hand
know.
around the neck, you
Yeah.
know.
It's just here. It's the definition.
Some people
of
like that
hearsay.
shit, you know?
Some people do. Some people, you're right. Dustin Hoffman, he was accused not long ago of by some chick. Remember?
I guess that wasn't on my radar. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was something like a 17-year-old girl.
He's such a wee little wisp of a man. News
Yeah.
about him just comes and goes.
This is a story. I'm a little. It was trending a lot today, and there's a lot of props being given to John Oliver, and I understand why, but I kind of take issue with this. I don't know. I'll tell you what happened, but so there's a panel celebrating the whatever anniversary, the 20th anniversary of the film Wag the Dog. Did you ever see Wag the Dog?
No.
I don't think I did either. And so John Oliver is doing the Q&A, and Dustin Hoffman was in there. There's a panel. It includes Robert De Niro, Jane Rosenthal, the director Barry Levinson. So all the big people from the movie are here. And Oliver starts asking questions, and he's just, there's an elephant in the room. There's an elephant in the room, these accusations, and Dustin Hoffman went on the record and made comment about it. But he couldn't help himself. So 20 minutes in, he starts fighting with Hoffman about these allegations. And he's like, yeah, John Oliver says, you've made one statement in print about the allegations. Does that feel like enough to you? And Hoffman says his statement at the time was, I have the utmost respect for women, feel terrible that anything I might have done could have put her in an uncomfortable situation. I'm sorry, it is not it is not reflective of who I am. And Oliver said that last part pisses me off. It's a dismissal. It's not reflective of who I am. And Hoffman said, well, you weren't there. And John Oliver's like, yeah, I'm glad I wasn't, which is kind of a good comeback. So later, Oliver starts reading passages from the accuser, Anna Graham Hunter's account of the alleged misconduct. And Hoffman says to John Oliver, do you believe this stuff? And he's like, yeah, actually, I do. I do believe this stuff. So then the audience is like, all right, move on. Next.
Seriously.
They're starting to get uncomfortable, and some of them are supporting John Oliver, others are supporting Hoffman. And so eventually he starts referencing the film Tootsie.
Oh, jeez. I actually went to the movies and saw that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Wasn't Dabney Coleman in that, too?
Oh, probably, yeah. Good
Jessica
call.
Lange.
So, dude, I don't think you can cite Tootsie to clear your name as someone who respects women, can you? I mean, he's going to do it, but I don't know that you can.
In what way did he cite Tootsie?
Well, I'll tell you how he cited
hey,
Tootsie.
that was really powerful for women?
He said his experience acting in the film Tootsie, a man who dressed as a woman. You probably aren't familiar with it.
He was the grossest looking chick, too, by the way.
Oh, he sure
so
was.
unbelievable.
Those glasses and the red.
Yeah.
He couldn't walk in his high heels. A man dressed as a woman. How could I have made that movie if I didn't have incredible respect for women? Boom.
Bam.
Tootsie cited.
Done.
Ugh. Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire was a better looking woman than him. You know what I mean?
It can be argued.
So she claimed that when she was this girl, Anna Hunter, says Hoffman sexually harassed her and pawed her when she was 17 years old. She was an intern working on the set of Death of a Salesman, right? So he was openly flirtatious. He grabbed my butt. He talked about sex in front of me and to me. One morning I went to his dressing room to take his breakfast order. He looked at me, grinned, taking his time. Then he said, I'll have a hard-boiled egg and a soft-boiled clitoris.
Now I got you.
No.
A soft boy.
It's a shit line, isn't it?
Oh God. Would you ever use that line?
I'm going to now.
I'm really hoping that this is a situation where somebody's just making something up to make him look like an
Soft-boiled
asshole.
clitoris?
Yeah. I'll have a hard-boiled egg.
And a soft
Pause. And a soft-boiled clitoris. And then she says his entourage explodes in laughter.
No way.
Yeah, it's one of those where maybe they've just got to kiss Hoffman's ass just to stay in the loop.
The only thing funny about it is just how
Kim Jong-
drastically ridiculous it is. It's not clever.
Yeah.
That's not funny. It's just absurd.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about it. That's the
I
worst
know.
line I may have.
What does that even mean?
Did you lose a little respect for Hoffman? Honestly,
I think that
never
might be
really
worse than a
respected that dude.
tampon. I think.
Yeah, Chuck wanting to be.
Nah.
I do
Nah,
because if you
it's not
because
worse
if you
than the
remember
tampon,
in that
correct.
situation, that was a sex talk back and forth, and he had said something before, and it sounded like she kind of like didn't.
I want to be your tampon.
But he's with a girl that's like trying to do sex talk with him. This is just off the cuff. He thinks this would win a girl over.
Yeah,
Mr.
he's coming in
Hoffman.
dry, you know?
You think he's just sitting there, he's in makeup or whatever, he's got his boys there, he's trying to show off on the set of this big movie, and it's like...
He's
knock
got a
at the
little
door.
point there. Like, Chuck is just, he's trying to move it along, you know? He's trying to...
With a willing kind of sometimes
He's trying to
sex
think
talk
of something, you know?
Sexting can
trying to
be
go
weird.
there. Sure.
Dude, sexting can be weird, but dude, never, ever,
New
ever.
frontier for him. He's just trying to think out of the box.
But this guy is dry at the like Jason at the food table.
It's coming in dry with, I'll take a soft-boiled clitoris.
Now, after hard-boiled
What?
egg. What would you like for breakfast this morning, Mr. Hoffman? I love a hard-boiled egg. And a soft-boiled clitoris.
I mean, it almost would have been better to say something about cantaloupes and look at her tits.
Absolutely. There's probably even a way you could play off hard-boiled egg.
I assume that's where
you know,
it was
if you
going.
pause,
by the way.
like, I'll have a hard...
Well, yeah, soft-boiled clitoris, it doesn't even exist, man.
Does it? I don't think it does. I've never heard of it.
I assumed that's where it was going to go. A hard-boiled egg, some level of a hard dick joke. Just like, I've got a hard-boiled egg or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Over easy. Use that somehow, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could play off with
Breakfast, sausages.
Sausages come
so
to
forth.
mind. Sure.
I wouldn't mind.
Sure.
Hash browns.
I bet you like some sausages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How about some extra large sausage links, if you know what I mean, to go with my hard boiled egg?
That would have been better, man, than
way
soft-boiled
better. That's way
clitoris.
better.
Doesn't even make sense.
Dude, he knew he was in the moment.
And
He
who
was
wants
surprised.
a soft clitoris anyway? You're a selfish lover.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't say hard-boiled clitoris. That's even worse. And what is he going to say? Over easy clitoris? Scrambled clitoris?
He could have just said
dude, if
hard
he's going to stay
clitoris.
in the egg family,
If he's trying to-
almost better off saying soft-boiled clitoris, because scrambled sucks. You don't want a scrambled clitoris.
No, and I don't know what soft-boiled clitoris even means.
Neither
I
does
think
he.
you go hard with clitoris, and maybe you're there. I don't know.
My
Maybe you're on
only-
the outskirts of town, at least.
My only hope is that when all was said and done and people went away and he had a quiet moment to himself, that he reflected on that comment and beat himself
Yeah,
up
that's
a
where his
little bit.
reflection needs to land.
Maybe you
know,
go
on this
bean. You bring
comment.
in beans. You know, beans can be good with
Coffee beans?
eggs. You know, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, God, so many other ways to
terrible.
go.
So anyway, she says, these guys erupt. It's an explosion of laughter as soon as soft-boiled clitoris is laid out there. It's a huge
shit,
hit.
boss! Nice one, boss.
Huge hit. And so she just kind of quivers and shrieks and then leaves and then goes to the bathroom and sobs.
Quivers and shrieks and leaves.
To go to the bathroom. Now, that's a terrible story, right? I mean, if that's exactly how that happened, it's inappropriate. But let's be honest. We're talking about 1985. We're going back 30-some years. I don't know that it's terribly appropriate for John Oliver, when he's doing a panel for Wag the Dog, to just put himself
That's
in this...
as far as it went?
Yeah.
When did he bend her over and rape her?
Right. That's
that is
totally.
That's
yeah,
it?
that's
soft-boiled clitoris?
Yeah.
Doesn't even make
mean,
sense.
He grabbed a butt. He grabbed a butt at one point.
Oh, he did grab a butt.
But
yeah.
that wasn't a part of this, though, right?
But dude, it's not like he fucking
Sure.
blew a load in her pottery plant.
It could be way worse.
It could be way worse. So if this was Harbinger, right? If this is Harbinger and the stories are coming out of he grabbed me and made me watch him jack off, and then he came in my plant and then he raped me. If that's it, and you want to be John Oliver and go, dude, I can't let this stand. This is weird having you here. You didn't even remember Hoffman was accused.
Yeah, I didn't.
And so with De Niro there and the fucking, I don't know, it just felt like
definitely out to embarrass him.
Yeah, you were out to make a scene like I am so righteous.
I'm noble.
I'm noble, exactly. That I
hope
cannot
John Oliver
let this pass.
has a good pass. You know, I mean, it's just that's the problem.
Those
with all
in glass houses.
With all these
Pull up
people
John
now.
Oliver, please.
You know him. He's the ultra liberal British guy that does Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
I actually was
on
excited
HBO.
about that show.
It's a great show until Trump won the election, and now it's just
of course I know John Oliver.
He was on the Daily Show. He was on the Daily Show too. He's very smart, very funny, but it is just a 100% murder of Donald Trump week in and week out. And I still watch it. It's still, there's some funny moments, but so anyway, I thought that was kind of inappropriate. I'm glad you thought so too.
It's a bit much.
It seemed a bit over the top. You want to pull him aside afterwards and whatever. But hey, did you happen to see anything Monday Night Football last night?
Dude, I was thinking that this morning, like, Monday Night Football is so irrelevant now.
Isn't it?
Other than this injury that happened last night, it wouldn't have even occurred to me that Monday Night Football happened.
Unless the Lions are playing on it, you wouldn't. Speaking of the Lions, you see they finally were able to take 2 on the demolition of the dome.
I did, dude. I just missed it. I was headed to
Pissed. I wish I would have known.
to the running trail after your house, and I was going to head up Opdyke, right?
Yeah.
And I got there like 20 minutes after it happened.
Damn, really?
Fuck, dude.
Could you see it?
Yeah.
Was there still smoke in the air?
Yeah. Dust. Yeah.
Yeah, dust. Yeah, well, you're right. Monday Night Football is irrelevant. I'm shocked at how often it's like Sunday Night Football, don't care. Unless it's my team, don't care. Monday Night Football, same way. Anyway, there was an injury, Ryan Shazier last night, and dude, this one, we haven't seen these in a while where a guy like all of a sudden collapses on the field and can't move.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play that, E, just really quick. Did you see it, Jay?
Yeah.
His legs move at all since the hit. Really,
and
his
so
legs move at all.
God,
since
you've
the
seen
hit.
that play a million billion times.
He grabs his back, and here's the problem: like his legs go to that position,
Really can't move.
and
He's going shit.
Yeah. So I'm watching this, and I see his legs like that in that position, and they stayed on this for, I don't know, 8 minutes, and then they went to commercial, and they came back, and the first thing I noticed were like, his legs are in that same exact position. Those have not moved. And it was like, that dude cannot move his body from the waist. Obviously, he can move his arms. Dude, it was
rightly so.
It was one of those like, holy shit. You've seen those, who's the famous one, the Patriots receiver got smashed over the middle. Why can't I think of his name? But and it's like, God, seeing a guy like break a spinal cord and just like, that's it. You're done. You're done. You're in a chair now. Fuck, that's terrible. So anyway, I guess he's doing better. We don't really have many updates about Shazier.
I heard he did not need surgery that they thought might be necessary, so that's a good sign, I suppose.
Yes. They said that, he's doing better. Doesn't look like he needs surgery. And all I'm thinking is, what about his legs? Is he wiggling a toe or anything? Like, what do you mean he's doing better? He's not crying
and all
now?
Pittsburgh Steelers fans are thinking, is he going to play again? When's he going to play next?
So, like, he's a leading tackler. So,
he's pretty good. Is he going to play again?
Can he play in a chair, like, if we need to? Like, what's the deal? Yeah, I don't know, man. I every time I see one of those, I'm like, I get weird. I'm like, I'm having trouble walking. Like, how these guys take the field.
Yeah, just think what moms of little kids think when they see that. Your sport is dying, Mike.
I know it is. Boy, that Bengals team, there was another hit, one of those where a guy's running across the middle and a guy peels back and just fucking, whoa, boom! And this dude put a fucking helmet into the chin of it was a Steelers receiver. Put a helmet into the chin of this Bengal, and this dude just fucking down, out. And then the guy's standing over him like, yeah, motherfucker. The announcers are like, what a piece of shit, man. Your boy just got carried off the field on a stretcher. You guys are all worried about him. You're going to talk shit over a guy. You just made that illegal as fuck hit, peeling back on him like that. And, yeah, it was just, I guess there were more flags in that game. It was just one of those violent
interdivisional games.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully we get good news on him. Ryan Shazier, he was an Ohio State linebacker, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. So we're familiar with him in the Big Ten. Another follow-up to a story we did. Do you have this video, E?
I like to watch your videos.
I like to watch your videos. Yeah, some nice titties. Do you remember this one, Jay?
Oh, yeah, the drunk Miami fan that slapped the cop.
Yes.
So she's being taken away. She's being carried out of the stands, and she slaps at this African-American police officer who then just jacks her.
So we're talking about Bridget Freitas is her name, and Officer Douglas Ross.
I did not like Officer Ross's reaction.
I know you didn't.
This
Well,
was too much.
Let's watch it again just to refresh.
Yeah.
And it's she goes from this is all about me to nighty night in one instant.
No, stop it.
Stop it. I'll
Fuck
slap
you.
your face. I'll slap your face.
Bam.
Good night. Night night. Night night.
Unnecessary.
Good night. Yeah, unnecessary as shit. He's cleared of everything. No, nothing wrong with that at all. She's doing 50 hours of community service. She has agreed to write him a letter of apology.
Do you agree with that?
I do. I liked what one of the officers said, and it was a guy. Let's see, the police director, Miami-Dade police director, Juan Perez. You're familiar with Juan Perez down there.
Love his work.
He acknowledged that the footage does not look good, but he added that officers do not distinguish between males and females when throwing a punch. It's just protocol. Like, if you get hit like that, you turn and you fire, and it doesn't matter. Does it matter if it's a 2-year-old? Because if some 2-year-old comes up and smacks you on the back of the leg, can you turn around and just be like, boom, and knock that son of a bitch into the middle of the road? Like, no, we don't distinguish, man. You lay a hand on me, I'm going to fucking end you.
But don't you distinguish like what's a real danger and what's necessary to halt that danger?
Yeah, you would think when you've got 4 off. I guess she had punched a girl in the stands, and so they're like, man, altercation in section 220, whatever. And so,
like, isn't the better thing like to immobilize the arm that just slapped at you lamely? Rather than just jacking her in the face.
Oh, just fucking.
And going, hey, I get a freebie here. Isn't that better? Just immobilize the arm. You could just grab her by the wrist.
You could.
And twist it hard. I'm not saying you're wussy about it, but just seemed a bit much to me.
Would a titty twister be acceptable?
No titty
Indian
twister.
burn.
Isis, what'd you think? Was that too much?
Honestly, I know what you're saying, but I think it's such a quick reaction. She does hit him in the face twice.
Yeah.
I think
I'm surprised by
maybe
this.
It's not the most perfect.
I'm surprised he would say that too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the most perfect reaction. I'm not saying that you're not right. I just think it's such a fast situation that I don't think that he's necessary.
I'm not saying I'm right either. I'm just saying to me that seemed a bit much. And I recognize that these guys have to make split decisions and all that. But to me, dude, she's being carried off by 4 of you, hulking guys, you know? It could have been immobilized much easier.
For the record, only one of us has been on the beat in any form or shape.
It's true.
For the record, just to be clear, I would have knocked 4 of her fuck. Officer Walters would have knocked 4 of her. I mean, I
just feel like it's a little opportunistic. Opportunistic, like there's a little piece of him going, fuck you, bitch, bam.
I think you're giving a lot of thought into 2 seconds, not even like 30 seconds.
Well, hold on, E. Why can't you give some thought in that circumstance? There's a woman, a young drunk as fuck girl being carried away by you and 3 other officers. Why can't you take a second?
Yeah.
And just go, you know what? What should I do here? Should I fucking pound her in the head, or should I just grab her wrist?
Humans make make split decisions. I think he made a very split decision. He'd been hit twice.
Well, clearly, yeah.
I don't know.
And it's been rendered okay.
And it's split-second decision.
That's the answer.
I didn't know what you meant, if it was like a split-hour decision or something. So you got to play second after you say split decision.
Okay.
No, obviously it's been rendered appropriate. I'm just saying, like, as a human being, as a person who understands, I think, what, like, the officer's duty is there and what the goal should be. It looks a bit much to me.
I agree with Jay. And the reason I say that is, and I agree with E as far as, like, if you walked up, E, right now and went and slapped Jay, Jay is going to knock you into next week.
That's the truth.
It's like...
For the record.
That split-second decision, if he flicked your ear, you would knock him out, and I'd be picking up teeth going, dude, really? Did you have to knock all his fucking teeth out? And it would be like, sorry, dude, it was just a reaction. I'm human. And we would accept that, and then E would owe you an apology for flicking your ear to start the altercation.
Great point.
Now, the difference is... police officers are professionally trained to be able to react properly because they deal with assholes all the time.
They
deal with
risk,
drunks.
Right?
And
part
Jay,
of it?
You're totally right. If you're on a street corner and there's people everywhere and it's a chaotic scene, you know, that's different than what this was. This is in a crowd and you've got all your boys there. You're surrounded by your cop buddies.
You have her immobilized, but for this one arm that lamely slapped you.
Yeah. And so he knew the rules. Douglas knew the rules and was like, fuck it, I get a free shot at this cunt. Go ahead, lay one hand on my skin. Go ahead.
I think that's okay, frankly.
She brushed the top of my head going forward. If she comes back and hits my forehead with that hand, boom!
Yep.
And that's what
I
he
think
did.
that's okay. I think she deserved it, for one.
Now, the other
But again, I know what you're saying.
we're not even at the most troubling part of this story yet, and it's something we haven't discussed until now, but I wanted to give you a picture, an image, if you will, of her, Jay, and tell me if there's anything...
What's her name?
...that stands out.
Look at the size of that forehead, Mike.
I know.
Oh, my God. There's some real estate there, baby.
Yeah,
you can rent that shit out.
And see, that's what I was most troubled by.
Her hairline starts on the top of her head.
Right.
She deserved it. You're right. No, that's a crazy hairline, man.
It's kind of Coneheadish in a way, right? A little bit of Conehead in there. Do you
she
see
needs plugs.
Yeah, she could use that. I mean, when you compare her with who's the judge on Fox or whatever that has that hairline that's just
Judge Napolitano.
Yeah, and it goes just above his eyebrow line.
Is the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean this thing is.
It's almost male pattern.
Yeah, it almost begs for a fist if the opportunity arises. You know.
Wow.
You see it, E?
Yeah, that's Conehead for sure.
Yeah. Poor thing.
Like,
yeah. So, anyways, they said, "Listen, Miss Freitas, if you will agree to do 50 hours community service, write this guy a letter saying thank you for punching the shit out of my face and knocking me out cold. It was my fault since I slapped your black bald head first. I had every right to be knocked the fuck out. So thank you for that. If she does that." They won't pursue the charges any longer. But she was facing felony, abuse of an officer charges.
I understand.
So for her, it's not a bad deal, right?
No, it's not.
And then before we get to break, Jay, you want to see the most beautiful 6-year-old girl in the world?
Sure.
I wasn't asked to judge, so I don't know who the panel was, but there's something really
judged by who? Like what organization are we talking about?
She's a Russian girl, and people are just like, oh my god, she's like the hottest girl, most beautiful 6-year-old in the world, and so she's kind of being declared that now. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm just like, there's something pedophilic about
even
this.
That's why I paused when you said, "Do you want to see the most beautiful 6-year-old?" I'm like, why is he terming it like the most beautiful? That's kind of weird. Like,
yeah,
you
look
want
at
to
the
say
story title.
A little girl judged cutest in the world.
No.
I'm like, okay, let me see. Dude, she looks like a doll.
I know. That's what people
it's like. A porcelain doll, man.
Look at that, dude. There's a better picture.
That's crazy, man.
Those eyes are awesome.
She looks like an American Girl doll.
Yeah. Hi.
She's angelic.
Dude, this is weird. She's got like half.
Look at that is a doll, dude.
I know. You could see getting that for Sweet Pie for Christmas.
Yes.
You? Yeah.
Sweet Pie has a doll that looks like that.
Now, this is who they're comparing it to. This was the previous hottest 6-year-old on the planet. They really like the blue eyes. And I got to admit, that girl's got beautiful blue eyes. Both of them do. And so this girl was French, and now this one comes on the scene. Gross. And her mom keeps posting these pictures on Instagram.
Dude, part of it is the fucking hair. The hair is so perfectly straight down, and her bangs are cut so straight that it looks like a doll hair.
Right.
Or it looks like doll hair, a doll face. For sure.
Her
wow.
name's Anastasia. Look at that.
Of course it is.
But see,
you take away the bangs, and she looks less doll-like.
Yeah, but there's... Yeah.
That skin is like...
The skin is weird.
Cherubic.
Right.
When I saw... What'd you say, E?
He said something, and I agreed, and I realized I didn't even know what he said.
The thing that I thought was weird and extra creepy about this was your mom is taking all these behind-the-scenes photos of you at these photo shoots and blah, 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 and posting them on Instagram where she has 500,000 followers.
Wow.
So
Dude,
what are they following?
Would safe to say that 498,000 of those are just pedophilic boners?
Yeah. I mean
dude.
Why else would you do anything other than just look at that girl and go, oh, okay, yeah, here's the story about her, and then move on? Why would you be following that girl?
Yeah, it's creepy as shit. It's creepy as shit. There's Mom.
She doesn't look as good here at this age.
I know. This could be one of those, too, where she hits a stride at 12 and turns ugly. We've seen that before, too.
I'm looking at her mom thinking that. Look at the squat on her mom.
I know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty gross squat.
There's a whole lot of there. Like block cheese going on here. You know what I mean? You see it?
Whole lot of it. You're right.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know, dude. That worries me because that girl, their mom is making people aware, like, where she is. That is a kidnappable little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? That is a stealable girl.
So here you go. Another example where everything is sexualized, from age 6 onward.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. I don't know. I was shocked that there weren't, there's always the people that are like, oh, my God, she's too young to be wearing makeup. I'm like, really? Is that the problem? Because I think there's a bunch of fucking really creepy bald men in their mom's basement jacking off to these pictures. Is no one going to bring that up right now? No one? Really? That's what seems pretty obvious to me.
Gross.
I know, man. Anyway, let's take a quick time out. Another kid bullied at school to the point of killing herself. And then we've got fucking dude vampires are a real problem in Malawi, in Africa. And
A vampiric tribe?
Yeah, there's some vampiric activity. Don't worry, there's some mobs out there that are handling it on their own. Vigilante justice, which is always
vigilante
good.
justice.
Yeah, it's good.
It's my favorite type of justice, to be honest with you.
I would agree with you, Edie. I think vigilante might be my favorite justice as well. So we'll get to those stories and more next.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Fuck them. I agree with Berman. Fuck us. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com with Mike and Jay.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Oh, love it. Hey, we should mention tomorrow, I believe we'll be talking to Ryan Ridley.
I believe we will.
Yeah. Ryan Ridley, you might recognize the last name Ridley. It is, in fact, a relation of Mark Ridley, his son. And Ryan is absolutely crushing it right now in as a writer and producer, voice actor. He's a writer for the Rick and Morty show on
Cartoon Network,
yeah,
Adult
Swim, everywhere. They've blown that show up, and he's a big part of that. He does some
really
voice
good
stuff.
show.
Yeah, it is. I just started watching it. It was really never on my radar, to be honest with you, Jay, but it is really good. And so I've been prepping for his upcoming interview and watching some, and it is very good. So we look forward to that tomorrow. But before that, we've got some other things to do here, including these might be my the stories that bother me the most. I know some people would say that probably the race stories really work me up. And what are some of the other ones that really chap my ass, Jay?
Just the media being dicks.
Yeah, media and race relations really bother me because I don't think that race relations are nearly as bad as the media wants you to think they are. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And so I don't like them whipping people up the way they do. But these stories really, when I read about a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old who takes their own life because they've been bullied at school, it fucking infuriates me to no end. I don't know why. I don't have a kid. I wasn't bullied as a kid. I didn't bully kids as a kid. But these ones, I can get to
Your
the
heart
point
goes
where
out to 'em.
I'm fucking shaking with rage. I'm so angry because I remember how uncomfortable it is to be a 12-year-old or be a 13-year-old going through life. And
Middle school was the worst.
It was the worst. You're awkward. You're goofy. You just want to blend in. I mean, unless you're...
Kids are evil at that age, too.
Dude, they're brutal.
Absolutely evil. Everybody's out for themselves.
Yeah. And
trying to find their spot. How do they fit into everything?
And it makes you cool if you're a dick to people. Like, you can be the cool kid by being an asshole, as weird as that sounds. Or, most of us weren't the stud on the football team and got a free pass from bullying. So... people that this happens to, I feel like this is so solvable. If a kid comes to you at 12 and there's even a hint of bullying, you go, like, the school should be involved.
There's a huge anti-bullying push.
You say that, but I read these stories and it's like, oh yeah, for 2 years these same people fucked with her and she ends up taking her fucking life and her dad has to walk into her bedroom and see her hanging. And it's like, this is so preventable and so sad on so many levels. And it's like, it's one thing to be bullied at 21. You're 21 years old and some asshole at work is picking it. But
you can emotionally deal with it.
Yes, you've had enough life experience to know that fuck that guy, But at 12, you don't. You just don't have enough experience to know that fuck those girls or fuck those kids.
Dude, I don't know.
And it's like, I just personally feel like the parents, the schools, the whole area has such a responsibility to look after those kids and take that shit seriously.
I'm telling you, they do.
But it's not as easy as you think it is.
Let's hear from the expert.
Well, no, that's not the reason.
Yeah, you were bullied a shitload.
That's not the reason. It's not as easy. When you say it's.
I didn't say anything was easy.
Mike, no. Mike said this is solvable or this is.
I think it is.
Dude, the problem is with online now at this point. You can sit there. For one, back in the day, we all knew the deal was that even if you went to a teacher and said, oh, so-and-so is beating me up, then the minute this bully finds out you've told on them, then they know you've told on them, and now they go harder after you after the fact that you've... No, and then...
No, you're right.
And it's
you're right.
Not, and it's not... And the
well,
thing
it's after school. What are we going to do about it? You know what? You fucking expel the kid.
No,
you
the
start
psychology of
messages.
it is what he's getting to.
If
is
you
the
go to
victim?
Facebook,
the victim's
Twitter-
going, "Fuck this! I'm not even going to report this because it'll just make it worse."
Right.
Yeah.
For one, there's that. Two, there's the fact that, say you do report it, say this school comes in, say they talk to this kid 100 times, then it's like, you know what? They go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and they just rile everybody else up and say, this guy's a loser, he's a moron, he told on me for one, by the way.
Well, I can see flashbacks to both 8th grades in your eyes right now.
Yeah, I
never told on anybody.
No, I'm sure you didn't, E, and I wouldn't have told on anybody either, because we all saw that scenario play out where it's like, well, we'll have a talk with his parents. And then nothing happened. The kid was twice the dick then afterwards. But to me, it's like, if you started sending messages like, this is so unacceptable that you're not allowed at this school anymore. If you're going to pick on kids that are weaker than you and you're going to be that asshole, we'll give you a warning. If this shit continues, I don't care if it's after school, I don't care if it's online, this ends now or you are no longer a person at this school, and then you fucking deal with that. Your parents and you can explain to the new school why you're transferring mid-semester. And if you start sending that message enough times...
There is a huge anti-bully push, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't cover every situation, but there really is.
Well, I knew you were going to say that, Jay, but when I see, like, for the last couple years, to the point that this girl's got a journal with names of all these people that are bullying her, it's like, why, if you know this, are not people being absolutely hammered for this? I don't know. The girl we're talking about here is Rosalie Avila, and... you can see, here's a bigger picture of her. This story was a few days ago, and there's an update on it. I just never got to it, but
little
kids,
cutie pie.
Yeah, kids are making fun of her because she's got braces and kind of big teeth and stuff, and she's just a little kid. She hasn't grown into it yet, and so she tells her dad.
She's got a hell of a grill.
Yeah, I know.
Tooth to gum, is that the concern?
Well, I think her teeth are straight. She's like, my teeth are straight, and they're still making fun of me. And Dad's like, it's no big deal, hon. You got braces; they'll come off, and. She's just a little kid. She hasn't grown in, fully grown in yet. I had big, giant buck teeth when I was a kid because my teeth were big.
You've grown into they look great.
I haven't
Mike.
fully grown in. I could have used a little bit more face, like an inch more, like forehead and chin to like really make
you
that.
You accounted for it pretty well in adulthood, and I think your teeth look great.
I
They're
appreciate
one of the
that.
best parts about you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But if you look at pictures of me in 3rd grade, 4th grade, it's like, oh, there's Bugs Bunny. I just look at
that's because you have half your baby teeth and half the adult, and they're spread out in weird gaps, and everybody looks like a dork.
So imagine that, Jay, and I don't need to tell you what that would be like. Her father, Freddie, finds her body after hearing screams in the home, walks in and finds her hanging there in her bedroom.
Wow.
They rush her to the emergency room in critical. They announce, she's brain dead, and they take her off life support shortly thereafter. They said goodbye to their daughter. So ever since then, the bullying has continued. And now the family is being bullied online. And this is so fucking infuriating. So someone sent them a message with a meme that said, hey, Mom, next to a picture of Rosalie's face, right? It then showed her face cut out and put onto a body who was giving a thumbs down to a bed. Next time, don't tuck me in this. And then her face was onto a body pointing to an open grave. Tuck me in this.
People are evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
It's just...
Dude, that person should be... You know what, dude? You can find out who people are on social networking. I think even if it's... That should be...
You should be drawn and quartered.
Yeah,
You should
I know.
be in juvie
Burnt
or
at the
whatever.
stake. I know. I don't care how old you are. If you can't see, you're not even human at that point. If you can't see how sending... Someone went way out of their way to take her head off of pictures of her from Facebook and superimpose them onto this body pointing to the bed, and then do it again on this body pointing to a grave. Like, there was real thought and planning that went into that with one message. Fucking hurt these people. Hurt this family. It's not enough that you drove her to hang herself in a room. I think she left behind a letter apologizing for the hurt she was causing her family. She did it because she was ugly and a loser.
She's not ugly. She's a cute little girl.
She sure
I'm
is.
sure she wasn't a loser.
And she's not a loser. The dad's just,
That is shit,
I know,
man. That's
I know.
fucking insane, dude. You're right. I want to fucking punch whoever that kid is. Like, they need to be... You're right. Jay's right. Drawn and quartered. I know, like for real.
I know. You want them dragged through the
tarred feather,
Main
drawn
Street.
Bring them through fucking Main Street and be like, this fucking person caused somebody to kill themselves because they fucking are too insecure themselves or they fucking can't handle their own shit.
I hope at some point, all you can hope is that the gravity of that hits that person at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that they truly understand that and appreciate it.
They will.
That will probably end up in a drug or alcohol problem. Well, if it really hits something.
Whatever, but I mean, it'll go one of two ways, Jay. They'll either grow up convincing themselves and actually believing it that they didn't do anything wrong to do this, or
denial.
They'll go into such deep denial that it's just gone, or this is going to be a massive fucking weight on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Because those girls will know who they are. The person that sent that meme will know who they are. And hopefully they feel that down the road, you know. So her parents have turned the journal over to police. They hope the school district will do something to prevent further bullying, saying not enough was done to help their daughter. I did everything I'm supposed to as a father, and these people did not respond because those bullies are still at the school. They're still there, and my daughter's gone. And, of course, the middle school is, you know, they've got grief counselors because that's what we do. The important thing is, hey, if anyone was bothered by this girl hanging herself in her room, we've got some grief counselors if you'd like to talk to them.
I can think of some people that were. I mean, no, that's, I don't know, man. Sorry. That you're right. That is, I don't even have enough words. I don't have the words to say how angry that makes me see. You're right. When you read that and then you see that meme, fuck that kid,
I think
man.
I think it's the innocence of the age is what it is. Like you just, kids are at that age, they don't have the capacity to understand how insignificant high school really is or how absolutely, utterly insignificant middle school is. They just don't. And so those are the only experiences they have. And we know that, and we all say it doesn't matter how many times. Jay, how many times you said to your kid, guys?
It's been one of my big efforts, honestly, because I remember those times and I see the disappointment on their faces when they encounter, you know, rejection or whatever it is at this age. And you can't discount it. You can't be like, you shouldn't feel that way. Your feeling is valid. But, dude, believe me, these people don't matter. You know, like, I've said it a number of different ways and tried to impart that. If there's one thing I could help them through this age with a message, that would be it, you know, because it just doesn't matter at all.
I think the best thing a parent can do is try your damnedest to have the kid have confidence in himself, to not follow the leader. Easier said than done, and I don't have a kid, so believe me, I'm the last one that should be talking. But we all know that. You, me, you don't have to be a parent to know we can all relate. He went to 2 8th grades. We can all relate to how, like, it's funny when you look back, you're like, I can't believe that mattered.
Yeah.
Why did you give a shit? How many people from high school do you even talk to?
I talked to nobody I talked to one person. Chris McQueen's the only person I talked to. And you know what, by the way? A lot of the other fucking people that did that shit go to the same shitty bar.
And they can suck it.
No, they do, though. Your point, though, a lot of people I know.
And hang out at the White Lake Inn or whatever bar.
It's like they're fucking. I walked into a bar one time a few years ago. It was like lunch class. I'm like, dude, are you guys sitting at the lunch table or are you sitting in a fucking bar at 30? And so you're right. And I've said it on this show before, and I'll say it again, that, you know, I love social media. I actually do. I'm addicted to my phone. I would never want to grow up in this time with social media.
It's very tough.
That's a great point.
I could never imagine doing it, and I would not want to.
Well, I guess my further point was, since we all know that, since every person, I don't care who you are or how popular you understand what the insecurities of a 12, 13-year-old are, because we've all been there. And so because of that knowledge, I think there's such a responsibility to not fuck around with that. Kids are going to make irrational decisions, and I've read too many stories of fathers walking into a kid's room, and a kid is hanging there because people fucked with him, and it's just, you know, it's just awful. And so, you know, I know, Jay, you're right. There's a lot of anti-bullying campaigns that go on in a lot of schools, but
yeah, it's not met with deaf ears, but obviously there's gaps, and you can't solve every one of them. But I'm telling you, really, there is an effort, and there's a lot of action that's taken when something is brought to administrators' attention. There really is, and maybe not in this case. And I'd like to know more about how how that played out. But
not to mention that an episode like that at a school is something that will stick with those kids for eternity. Like, those kids know a girl who hung herself at home. Dude, that's like, we had a kid that was hit by a bus. I've never forgotten it. Like, I remember what it was like to be in middle school and have a kid hit by a fucking bus. And it's, you know, it's scarring, you know? Anyway,
it is.
Do your read there. We'll change it up.
Mike, the holiday season has come upon us. Gross. And that means two things. One, Etard will be taking his second shower of the year. And two, Zott M59 Dodge Ram has rolled out its big finish to 2017. Celebrate Santa by leasing a new 18 Ram Bighorn crew cab 4x4 at just $177 a month. This is a fully loaded Ram Bighorn, and the lease is only 24 months. Get details and surf their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
Oh, man, Jay. Before we get to email, I wanted to mention that we've got stories coming out of Malawi and in Africa of midnight blood-sucking attacks. There's
can only mean one thing.
Vampires are seriously continuing to be a real problem.
Vampiric activity.
Yeah, it's
first
triggered.
the albinos, now the vampires.
Yeah, I know.
Mystical land.
And I don't know what's going on or why we can't stop this shit, but I don't know what we do. It's triggered some deadly vigilante violence in parts of the country.
Lee, your favorite type of violence,
I know.
too? Favorite type of justice. How about vigilante violence?
Yeah.
I like justice. Vigilante justice is more my thing. I don't know what it is about that phrasing or word because, like, I think I said it. I just have this image of
just
a bunch
pure
of
and fair.
Well, just a bunch of rednecks is what I picture. A bunch of hillbillies, just like we're gonna take this to our own.
We're not waiting for the court system. Fuck due process. Here's the process you need. All of it.
Right.
Bam.
Grab your machetes. Grab your torches. Let's go.
Sacks of door handles or something, and they're ready to whack people.
Sacks of door handles. Doorknobs, maybe.
Doorknobs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Unless that angry mob is coming after you, E, for something. You're accused. You're brought up on some trumped up charge,
Right.
some bullshit thing, and now you got doorknob sack guy coming at your door. It's
Door
like,
handle guy.
So anyway, this one woman says they say at least 7 people have been killed in one district. This is such a problem that UN workers and U.S. Peace Corps volunteers have been pulled out of the region. Ooh. I don't know if they're worried about the vigilante justice or if they're worried about the vampiric activity. I'm assuming it's the vampiric activity. This is not hearsay. I know my blood was sucked. I saw light in the corner of my roof. I failed to stand up from my bed and felt something piercing my left arm near my breast. He was going for the breast.
Yeah, he missed. Why would you get that close to the breast? And
yeah.
Well, if you're a vampire,
that was Baulenny that said that, and I was shocked. Like when I read that statement, I was like, "Is it possible that she knows what hearsay means?"
What do you mean?
She said, "This is not hearsay."
Oh,
that was the start of her quote.
Yeah.
This is not hearsay. I felt like that seems like a strong word for someone in Africa dealing with vampiric activity to know. You know what I mean? Like I only learned what hearsay was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took me by surprise. And so anyway, her story is part of a long line of similar testimonies in Malawi where belief in witchcraft and vampiric activity is widespread and rouses these revenge mobs that kill those suspected of black magic. Yeah, it's ugly. For her part, Baulenny, she makes a living selling wild pea stew. Have you ever had wild pea stew?
Thus questioning use of the term hearsay. I get it now.
Right. You see, Witch Hazel, I think, made wild pea stew.
Right.
I like a pea stew, though. I'm going to be honest with you.
Before
I do.
Before you should go visit her. Go to Malawi,
Maybe I
dude.
will.
Maybe she'll make you some. I made it from scratch.
Perfect.
She's not going to the grocery store and getting packaged ingredients. I can promise you that.
That's wild.
Yeah. So she says before she went unconscious, she heard someone leaving, someone fleeing. One victim, Florence Kulenga, was sleeping alongside her husband in their home when she saw a light like fire. So I don't know if this is black magic or what, but I heard the door open. I felt like a needle pierce into my finger. Orlando Chapanda was blamed, I believe, and he narrowly avoided an attack when 2,000 villagers carrying machetes and stones stormed his home.
2,000?
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. They were convinced he was housing bloodsuckers. So they were like, I know
that's a case, as you say, Mike.
I would agree. E. If he's got a house full of fucking vampires, then
that's where the neighborhood watch or the vigilante group need to take shit on.
Who's the guy in the neighborhood that's like, I think it's Bill down the street. I've seen some bloodsuckers in this house. I know it. And then 2,000 people are like, man, sounds good enough to me. Grab your machetes and stones. Let's go.
Would love to be in a mob.
No stakes? I mean, isn't that the silver bullet for vampires?
Yeah, I don't know if they know that. I thought onions, too. Aren't
Crosses,
onions good?
You want a cross?
Crucifix, sure. Some
some
holy water.
Holy water is good.
Holy
light.
water?
Just light.
I mean, we do have flashlights. This isn't
I'd basically take a stake, though.
Yeah, steak is not bad, dude.
Silver bullets
are silver bullets good, too?
No, that's werewolf.
Oh, okay, shit.
That would do nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Jesus Christ.
To the undead?
So
come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Silver
comment.
bullet?
Sorry.
Undead?
Wow. So Mike wasn't the ruler of this.
I'm out there shooting and doing nothing for the village. Nothing.
Like,
I'm convinced that my silver
What's this guy
bullet's
doing?
going to do
What's
it.
this guy doing?
Like he thinks they're He knows that only works on werewolves, right? Fuck you, Bill. It'll work. Getting nowhere. They said I was keeping bloodsuckers. He was out at the time. He just happened to be out like bar hopping or something that night, and And so then when they stormed his house, they had to turn away because they couldn't find him. They could have killed me if they found me. My guess is they would have. Police had to go and like bomb the house with tear gas to get all these people out of here. They were so worked up and mad. He says now what he says is,
have they killed anybody, by the way? These vampires?
I don't know that the vampires have. They're just stealing some blood.
Yeah.
It's affecting the blood banks. The blood banks can't get people donating blood because the village is like, nah, I got to keep my own blood just in case the vampires come by and need it. And so this is a real problem, dude.
Can we get some education over there? My God.
Or, dude, get some fucking wooden stakes
Or
over
wooden
there.
stakes, either
whatever. One. So this guy, Orlando, says, look, these people are blaming the rich. They think it's the rich, like me, that's the problem, and so they think we're housing bloodsuckers. So they want to take advantage of this and attack rich people. If you have a nice car, you are a bloodsucker.
Yeah. Wow, this just seems unfair. Class warfare.
Malawian President Pete Mutharika. Pete does not sound like a guy that would be running Malawi.
There's Orlando, though.
Yeah, I know.
Malawi named Orlando.
I know. Well, he was forced to step in and insist that the government had the situation under control. We're on the vampires. There's no evidence of bloodsuckers. It's a lie meant to destabilize the region. The poor believe the rich are greedy and are sucking the blood of poor people. And it's so they're largely in the area reliant on foreign aid.
Yeah, somebody took somebody too literally, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
They're sucking the blood right out of us.
Here's the other thing. They rely on a lot of foreign aid. You know, they need us coming over and dropping those bales of corn and rice and shit.
Yeah.
And so
parachute them in. We've all seen them. Pallets.
They view the assistance as suspicion because nothing is free. And so they're looking at us like, what are you up to, man?
Very savvy. Very wise.
Yeah, there's some
there's no free lunch, as we all know.
That's what they say. To villagers, the thinking is that no gift is for free. You pay back through your blood. Dude, they think we want to suck their blood if we drop off aid for
Do they think Americans are dropping off food for them and then we're hovering in and sucking their blood?
Dude, we have enough blood of our own. I don't need to suck your blood.
Dude, and this is in the age where, you know, my kids are walking around with cell phones, you know, and smartphones. And then there's this whole other side of the world that thinks people want to suck their blood. Come on.
What if it was absolutely true and black magic and witches and vampiric activity is just happening? And we're all over here going... Oh,
and albinos are magical.
Yeah, well, you don't know.
Well, we're sitting here with ailing muscles and going and just getting our pills.
You ever tried an albino?
Have you guys had any good luck lately? I didn't think so. Could go for an albino bone right now, if you know what I mean. Use a little good luck. All right, let's get to. Do we have a couple emails, Jay?
We do. Hamlin Pub supports the Detroit Cast. Got to mention them. They let's make it a point to support them, including going to DetroitCast.com under the Interact tab and events, and there you will find an opportunity to get to Hamlin and see the great Mike Massey.
Yes.
So head on over there. That's February 2nd, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And you better get your tickets now because they're going to go quick.
Yeah, they went on sale yesterday, and they're moving fast, and there's just not that many of them. So if you want to be a part of that, do that. Also, check out YouTube. He just released a new video of him covering Oasis Wonderwall today.
I'm your Wonderwall.
He sings it better than us, though.
He does.
It's really good. So
almost like he gets paid to do it.
Be the day. What's that?
It's almost like he gets paid to sing songs.
It's almost like he's a professional, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Right.
That's a good comparison. I would agree with that.
Before we get to email proper.
Oh, for the love of fuck.
I'd like to read a post. Look at the little monkey. Look at that poop.
Hi, friend. Hi, friend.
He's just munching on a coconut.
Sure am. Why you got a camera on me? Get out of there.
Amigos, did you know that Costa Rica has 4 different species of monkey?
Really?
I knew they had the howler.
They have the macaque?
I went there.
Is a macaque?
I don't know that the macaque is there. I know they have the howler.
Shit.
It's like,
yeah.
They're awesome, man.
They have to have the macaque, or who's the one that's got that dick nose?
Oh, that's a great one, too.
Yeah. Who's the one that's hard all the time? Remember the one we saw that was just rock?
Wasn't that the same dick-nosed monkey?
Maybe. Do you remember that, E?
I do remember it.
And that fucker, he's just walking around just fucking raging rock.
Amazingly, says Postcard Ryan, I am told that they all play with their fruit and veg less than Isis. Hello from Costa Rica. I was looking for other facts and realized that monkey families are like EDM fams, grooming each other. They spend time grooming each other, and they are not territorial, but are aggressive to members of other groups. Love you guys. XOXO Ryan. Thank you for
Ryan.
posting it.
Hey, we're not aggressive towards other ones.
That song. I love that song. Live in La Costa Rica.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
There's this one. I don't remember the one that's...
Yeah, there's that guy with a bulbous nose.
Look at that dick nose on that kid.
Doesn't his hair look soft?
Yeah.
His hair looks very soft.
Well, even his shoulders. Just,
Oh, yeah.
Just give him a pet.
Yep, I would love to brush his hair.
Sort of Sharpay-like.
Love to brush his hair.
He's got folds.
How do they tell each other apart? They all look exactly like that guy. You know what I mean?
They have a certain smell.
There's just pheromones or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's no different hairstyles. It's not like, oh, John, I love the new look, man. What are you doing there? Oh, 5 on the top.
2 on the sides, 3 to blend. No, they're pretty much the same color and look. It's got to be smell, right?
Yeah, it has to be. Where's the guy with the fucking raging boners?
Jesus.
Just do monkey, erect
Bing.
penis.
Monkey, boner, erect.
Monkey, erect monkey boner.
While you do that, Anonymous writes in, Dear fit, fat, and fag, winky face.
It's about time someone did that one.
He says, for you, Mike.
Yeah.
I am a dude and had a #MeToo moment. See if you buy this one. When I was 14.
I don't.
Of course, it involved a bike shop. I had an awesome friend.
Start again. What did he say?
I had a Me Too moment when I was 14. And
of
course, it involved the bike shop. I had an awesome friend that worked there. The job was as fun as it got. There were 2 guys who worked there that were seniors and were cool as hell. So needless to say, I loved the job. The negative side, the manager. He was in his 40s, out of shape, and mostly a creeper. So I've got a mental image.
Oh, dude, I'm seeing Dudley right now.
you.
We're talking to Dudley, right?
Conversely, I was a 3-sport athlete, lifted weights all the time, so I was in really good shape at 14. On many of the days, there would be 3 or more of us working as we were kind of busy. I was going to say that's a lot for a bike shop.
But back in the day, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I had a lot of bikes to assemble or repair. Sometimes, though, it would be me and only the creeper. Every once in a while, he would come over and tell me how much bigger my arms had gotten or something like that.
Yeah,
and he would ask me to take my shirt off so he could measure them. Just imagine the drive on this dude.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, I really liked my job, and this wasn't overtly gay. It wasn't, Anonymous?
Yeah, it was.
So I would oblige and take my shirt off.
What do you
Dude.
mean? What do you mean it wasn't overtly gay?
He would then measure my arms, huffing and puffing in my space with the breathing of a sleep apnea-afflicted lineman. He would then tell me we should measure my chest, too, which had also gotten bigger. There was a definite line there that I would not have crossed, but we were definitely walking that line the entire time. This happened years and years ago, but I literally have told only one other person, and that's because of the craziness going on right now. I maybe would have spoken up sooner, but the guy died a while back, so there was nothing that would come of telling anyone. Truthfully, I felt that coming forward and telling someone meant that I was complicit in the pseudo-gay shenanigans, or that I was too weak of a person to put it to an end. I definitely feel for all the people that have been put in that position and understand why they have waited for someone else to tell their story before coming gross forward. Signed, Dudley 2.0.
Unless, of course, you live at the North Pole and going to freeze your tush off.
What kind of fun?
Well, for instance, there's skinny dipping.
Yeah, it's a little skinny
Either
dipping.
you guys ever go skinny
Bicycle
dipping?
Man.
Nah, I never done that. Me neither. Unless you want to count the time when the fire hydrant blew my pants off.
Arnold never stops cracking jokes.
Fun.
Dudley's getting his butthole fingered by the bicycle man.
About to.
You have missed one of the great joys in this life. I think I got some pictures around here of a bunch of us skinny
Oh,
dipping.
this is such a troubling episode.
A very special different strokes.
I love you, son.
Right
I love you, son. That buck-toothed dad.
Mr. Ramsey.
Yes. What was the bicycle man's name?
It's not your fault, son. I love you, son.
It's not your fault.
You don't have any clothes on either.
So annoying.
Red flags everywhere.
Huge red flags. Remember when Arnold finally gets uncomfortable enough and he leaves, and I think we leave Dudley, and he's wearing like the safari helmet, and he's shirtless, and they're taking pictures.
Is that when Mr. Drummond comes in?
Well, just before that, I think we see Dudley. He doesn't feel so good because he's drinking wine. I believe he's just
right.
remember that?
Gave him Jesus juice.
Yeah, little Jesus juice action, which is that is textbook. I mean, that's the weapon of choice if you can use it. And it's like, oh, he's sitting there, he's drinking wine, he's shirtless. Remember why they said they brought Dudley into that episode?
Dudley in a bike shop. Because they didn't want to put Arnold through that.
They thought it would
scar Arnold like that.
They thought it would be too hard on the audience if they had this bicycle man,
the main character.
Yeah,
Arnold.
Finger Arnold's butt. So it was like, all right, we need a
So
sacrificial
then next
butt.
week it would just be like nothing happened. Just be like,
yeah, what you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
Didn't they finger his butt like a week ago? What's going on here?
It was a very savvy move on the part of the writers.
It was, but they knew that there was a problem, so I was like, can we bring another kid?
He's
Dudley.
expendable.
Yeah, bring Dudley in. Finger his butt. Just leave Arnold's out of it.
So what was his name? You had like 3 minutes there to bing him. No, didn't come up with it? Name of the bike shop owner?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Tom writes in concerning Big E's internet ad grievance. Holy shit, old man pussies. Listening to that was making me think I was down at the VFW or at the rail at Denny's hearing old men bitch about the internet ads in 2017.
I wasn't bitching about the ads, by the way.
And not 340-something-year-old men doing a podcast in a basement. Ad block, boys. Ad block. I haven't seen an internet ad.
Ad block wouldn't stop it.
Or one of these pop-up videos you talk about on my computer in like 10 years unless I'm using someone else's computer. Now, let's be clear. What E's grievance was, it's the videos that come up in conjunction with the story that you're reading. Does Adblock take those? Because I can understand getting hit by just the dumb pop-ups. Adblock would.
I don't know. I don't think they would, like on the free press when the book
I'm not
video
sure
pops
Tom
up.
is following exactly what the grievance was.
Well, I still get ads that pop up, but aren't they usually in front of a video that they're going to show you? And I don't think you can stop those either.
I got to thank God for the Prana ad that came up and gave me my new pants.
Really?
Oh,
well,
that
yeah.
Popped up in front of me, and that's what inspired me to go get my dad pants.
You can learn from ads. I use stuff I found on Pandora. There's a few things I've found through Pandora that I use. So I like ads.
Jay, if you don't mind, if I just take a quick second here.
Just inform us as to the name of the bike shop owner.
No. I just need to address something, and I don't want to come off as accusatory to anybody in the room, but is it possible, E, that yesterday's grievance was a stolen grievance?
I don't know, dude.
Oh, my.
This just so happened to pop up on my Twitter feed, and it's been favorited 23,000 times. It's been retweeted over 5,500 times. That's a lot of action.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And this tweet landed almost 10 hours before E declared his grievance.
This is embarrassing.
Oh, shut up,
And
dude. For one.
the tweet, I've got a screenshot of it here. The tweet says, "Dear news organizations of the internet, never the fuck ever do I want to watch a video instead of read the article I clicked on. I don't care if it's related to the article or not. I'm not interested in unexpected noise coming from a web page. Knock it the fuck off."
Wow, and this came literally moments before the grievance was asserted.
If either of you two jackasses had done this, you would have been blowing each other about how, see, we knew it. This was a problem.
Dude, I was basically blowing you yesterday. I said, E, that's a really well-structured grievance. It seemed out of the ordinary.
I didn't have that grievance
Seemed cogent.
Yeah, well put together.
That grievance came, I don't know, 30 seconds before the show happened. Me and Jay were sitting. You were about to go get a coffee or something, and we were about to start.
Were you on Twitter?
Don't look to me to vouch for this.
No, I don't. I was searching. I was looking down an article.
Were you looking at Twitter really quick before we started the show?
No, I wasn't. I don't even go on Twitter pretty much, almost ever. And I was doing a story that we were going to play on this show, and it happened again. And I said, you know what, Jay? I have a grievance. And that
Well, that clears everything up.
Oh, yeah, yours doesn't clear shit up,
Listen,
you asshole.
Fuck you. I think you stole this grievance.
Fine. Whatever you want.
Fine. Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
No, you won't.
You're a known fucking liar, and I'll get you drunk, and then I'll get the real story. But if I had,
not the only one.
pull your goddamn tongue up on the roots. If you stole Lori's fucking grievance.
If I find or hear the individual that has said that about me, I will pull your goddamn tongue out of the roots. Thank you very much.
All this proves to me is that my grievance was great.
Yeah, Lori's grievance was great, and if I find out you stole it, if I had,
I don't know who
you stole it. By the roots.
I don't even go on Twitter, man.
Save the rest for tomorrow.
Very good. Looking forward to Ryan Ridley tomorrow. That'll be fun. People, that's really good cult following for Rick and Morty and stuff, and big part of that show. So look forward to that. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.